Well, I'm on the main track that leads from Dundonald to Poolew and heading up towards Teallach. It's around about midday. The sun's out, but there's a little bit of a cooling breeze, which is quite nice. So the plan is to camp somewhere, probably at the top of this pass, and then head off and do the Teallach Ridge and come back along it to camp. The forecast's good, so potentially got light until 9:30, so still plenty of time in the day. This part so far is really nice, walking through birch woodland, all very green with the bracken, and a little bit of shelter as well from the sun, which is lovely. Just heading up on the past to Shenavall, can see back to the Ben Gerard group, then round to the Fannix. Beautiful. Eyes are starting to get fixed though on Teallach, which is now looming up in front of us. But we've abandoned the sacks and are now beginning what looks like a quite steep ascent, or about to be quite a steep ascent, up to one of the minor peaks of Teallach. And just as we've done so, the sun's come out in full force again. So yeah, looking forward to some excellent views when we start getting up here. It's already really good round here, it's lovely.
At least it's windy.
It's windy. Nice cooling breeze. So about half an hour of steep ascent, but it's got us well above the valley floor now, or the glen floor I should say, and views opening up all around us. So we've come up the first minor top. Now we can see the full ridge of Teallach in front. Looks pretty spectacular. So that's the route ahead. We're going to drop down this col, up this little minor peak, and turn and go up the munro. So last little 50 feet or so to the top now, nice little scramble up. So on top of Teallach, I've got an amazing view out of the sea. You can see the Hebrides. Looking out over all the lochs, over towards Ullapool, and the mountains to the far north. And around here, Shenavall, Ben group. Looking down past Teallach and Sgurr. It's a long way below. And then the ridge that we've just come up. And looking out here over the Fisherfield forest, over to the Torridons in the distance. Can even make out the cooling on sky. Pretty amazing view. So now I've got to drop down to this col and up to the second munro on Teallach.
Right, sir. 32 minutes.
On top of the second munro of Teallach. Again, just like the first one, absolutely stunning view. Got a little herd of mountain goats just in front of us here. Talk about mountain goat, that is proper definition. They're living up here. Again, this is looking out to the sea, over to the Summer Isles. You can see the North West sky. And you turn around all the mountains of Sutherland. Absolutely stunning. So we're on our way back. Just descending off the second munro of Teallach, and we're picking up a traverse path that goes underneath the first munro we were on, so should save us a little bit of ascent on the way back and descent.
Good.
This traverse path is really nice. Sort of weaves its way in and out of little rock pinnacles. Really pleasant. Oh yeah, so looking back to where we've come from. 2 munros in the evening sunlight, very pleasant. I mean pleasant, better than pleasant. Pretty superb really. Just got a nasty steep descent now down to this col before we go up the final hill on the far side. So we're at the last subsidiary top before we drop down to the valley. Superb mountain this. Amazing views. Lots of interest. Just again here enjoying a final view from the tops as the evening sun begins. So, brilliant views. There has to be a sort of a counter to that, doesn't there? To keep the universe in equilibrium. So after my beautiful views and really enjoyable walk, I've now got my penance. I have to go steeply downhill on this really scree path, which is a bit grim. But anyway, keep smiling. 10 minutes, it'll soon be over, I hope. Oh, see, horrific. Before we pitch the tents, we're going to eat. what's on the bill tonight. Ooh, yummy pasta. Yummy pasta with tuna. So we've decided to push on and probably camp down near Shenavall, Bothy. So we're just overlooking that now with the loch, the setting sun. So we just need to get a little bit of a move on before it gets dark. So we've got pitched just before it's dark. Good call by Toby. Got the wind.
We got the wind.
Got the wind, no midges. So we're not far from Shenavall, Bothy. And we've got the setting sun. We're both in our sleeping bags. Daring each other to get up. There are about 10 trillion midges inside the tent. That is ridiculous.
That's the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Having just escaped the midge hordes, we're underway as quickly as possible. Haven't eaten yet, but we're heading out to go up Sgurr Ban. First stop, and at some point we'll have breakfast on the way. So that was pretty horrific this morning. Don't think I've ever known midges anything like that, anything on that scale at all. To say there were clouds of them would be an understatement. And still togged up like this because they are around. As soon as you stop for a second, there's a million of them. But anyway, hopefully as we get a bit higher up, they will take a back seat. But it's a beautiful morning. Great all round views already. We've also got our first view back here to Teallach, which we were on yesterday. It's a really lovely walking by the river at the moment. It's a really pleasant walk up the glen. We've just, well, that seemed a pretty hard climb up from the glen, but we've come to this lovely loch just below the col. So a quick drinks break I think here, fill up with water before we head up Sgurr Ban there. The top of Sgurr Ban. There it is. It's quite a hefty little climb, that. And Teallach that we were on yesterday, out to the Summer Isles. A very calm looking sea. It's a very broad domed summit. But you can see over in the far distance to past Teallach, to the Torridons and Ben Alligan. Lovely, lovely. So I'm on the call between Sgurr Ban and Mully. Toby's just headed off to go do the rest of the Fishfield 6. I am now going to turn down from this call. I want to do a bit of a recce on this section of the Cape Wrath Trail. Never been down this valley, so I'm going to do that. Head back down and round, and then cut back across the Shenavall. So some heat to the sun today. It's a little bit more hazy, but so when you're in the full face of the sun, it's very, very hot today. So nice and steady, I think, down to the glen. I think there's a nice locken as well at the bottom. So gonna have a nice explore this afternoon. Just nice here as well, just to sit for a few minutes on this col, just enjoy the solitude and the peace and quiet. Anyway, that's where I'm heading, down there. Just having a final look back here at Mully and Sgurr Ban. I'll drop down following this water course, which started off as a tiny little rivulet, so I'm going to follow it right down into the valley. Well, this is a really fun descent. I've got these big slabs that I can just walk down, and I've got the river or stream following next to me. So it's really good fun. This has to be the UK's longest water slide. It'd be epic. Get a dinghy on that. Well, I have to say that was absolutely epic. What a find that was. And there's still more. This place is fantastic. I can't think I've ever seen anything like this before. It really is beautiful. So the watercourse has brought me out at the very picturesque Loch and Nid. Some of the great surroundings, backed by Teallach here behind. I'm just having 5 minutes by the Loch and Nid. That's one of the great things, get off the beaten track in Scotland. Those waterfalls and cascades, some of the best in, I can't think of any that I've seen in the UK that have been better than that. They were absolutely fantastic. And they're just in the middle of nowhere. You know, not publicised, but absolutely stunning. So what a find that was. I've no doubt if you explore other parts of Scotland, there must be other places like that exactly the same. It's one of the great things, I suppose, about Scotland. Just these, you know, remote areas that are just not on the tourist trail, so people don't know about them. But it's nice just to sit here overlooking the Lochen. Again, just peace and tranquility. Tea is on. Back down near Shenavall, Bothy, where we started this morning. Because there's a breeze and the sun's pretty intense with no midges, thankfully, so I can sit outside and just relax. I've also put the tent up, well, sort of got it up here just to dry it out, and it's the scene of the death of 1,000,000 midges. So I don't know, I'm going to get all the dead ones out of there, but it's carnage. Midge carnage. What a fantastic glen this is though. Really superb. Got Teallach here where we were up yesterday about this time actually. I've just eaten my bachelor's savoury rice and I haven't got a clue what flavour it was. In fact, actually, let me see if I can find out here. I'll tell you. Chinese flavour. You could have fooled me. Sorry, Toby. Wherever you are, he's got the same tonight for his meal. I hope his tastes better than mine. Still, you know, lots of things to do and to see in Scotland. As soon as you get away from the main pass or the main routes up to the Munros, just today finding those cascades and waterfalls was just absolutely amazing. Just, you know, just fantastic. And not in any guidebook or something that I've seen anyway. So those areas are still to see, you know, and walking through the glens and over the passes. So it shows that, you know, just beyond doing the munros in Scotland, there's still other excellent walking to be done. So I'm all packed up, and ready to go. So probably do an hour or so, find a pitch. That'll be me for the night. I've got plenty of water for another couple of brews and a bit of breakfast in the morning. So yeah, find a nice spot. Get pitched up for the evening. Just having one last look here back at the loch. Got a fabulous view here down to the glen that I was walking up earlier, or walking down earlier. The trees at the bottom. Lovely. Well, I've pitched just up on this hillside. Just underneath Teallach. Unfortunately there's no wind, so the midges are pretty horrific again. So gonna get hunkered down pretty quickly. It's a great shame. Would have been lovely to have sat out this evening, watched the sunset, but there are clouds of them. Clouds of them. So time to get inside. Brew on. So I talked about midge carnage earlier. Absolutely horrific. Don't know if this will come out on the GoPro, but just loads of thousands of dead midges got squashed in the tent and put it away. All over the doors, the mesh. It is. Look at down here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Midge carnage. Well, I've actually got the old style midge burners going here, and they seem to be working well. Seems to be stopping them from coming in. But it's a little bit of a shame that it can't go out because there's a really lovely sunset developing. Just show you this is the view out the door. It's a little bit different this morning. Cloudier picture. There's been the odd drop of rain as well. But the top's still clear.